Hello, piano lovers. Today I would like to cover topic of hand pedaling or finger pedaling. Yes, you heard it. So it's not about the foot pedal, it's not about the damper pedal, but it's about your finger pedaling. So what is this finger pedaling? It's when we can overhold some notes and this will allow us to create more sustained, more rich sound, and actually create harmonies. And I prepared a lot of examples today for you. Usually, we use finger or hand pedaling in Baroque or classical repertoire. But I also prepared an example of romantic piano writing where I can show you how composer indicated it in the score. So the hand pedaling, sometimes you can see it written down by the composer in the score, but sometimes it's not written down and we may assume there is a pedaling, the hand pedal, the finger pedaling, and you can use it or you don't have to use it. But sometimes you will feel like if you use it, it creates a beautiful sonority without the damper pedal, without being too muddy. Yeah, so it keeps the transparency and clarity of passages. So this pedaling, the finger pedaling, usually it is placed in the left hand part, in the accompaniment part in classical music. But sometimes it also is written down, or you can assume it's written down in the right hand part, in the melodic hand part, and by holding or overholding some of the notes, you can create very beautiful sonority. And I'm going to show you today in Bach writing. So first of all, Bach didn't have contemporary piano, contemporary grand piano as we know it now. He played on organ, he played on harpsichord, he played on clavichord. And of course, harpsichord and clavichord didn't have the pedal. And organ is a different instrument. We're not going to talk about organ, but there is one thing which called organ pedaling, which I will show you in some of the examples by Bach. So we will start with a simple piece, with a easy, simple piece, and then we'll go to more complicated stuff. So my first example is a well-known prelude in C major, little prelude in C major. And I'm sure you heard it, and maybe you played it or your students played it. So that's how it sounds. And I will stop here to save some time. So what he wrote here, what he does for the pedaling. So he has the octave in the left hand part, just octave, and that's it. And then for 3 measures in a row, here's that octave. And you already can hear that the octave is descending, right? It's almost done now. It's very quiet now, yeah? So what he does, his trick to make this octave sound more rich and actually longer without using the damper pedal. So that's what he does. If I play this octave silently, I just press the keys silently like this. Yeah, I press the keys. Now I'll play the right hand part, and then I will show you the effect. See? Can you hear that? I hope you can. Okay, so some of the strings are responding in this register. Okay? And Bach knew that. Some strings resonate. So that what he's using here. This is his pedal. We also can call it like organ pedal, because on organ, if you play one note or a chord and you hold it with your fingers, it continues to sound very loudly without decay. But on piano you cannot do that, or on harpsichord it was not possible. But doing this, so the right hand notes are enriching this pedal, this organ pedal. Okay, I hope this is very clear example. And now I'm going to show you the other example, which is from his well-tempered clavier. Again, very famous one, C major prelude and fugue. I'm going to show you the C major prelude. So hear how it sounds. I'm sure you know this music. So Bach actually writes down the pedal, the finger pedal here. So what he does is he holds the bass note all the time. It's a half note. And then he also holds the next second voice, this voice. So that's how the left hand sounds. And so on. So this already creates a pedaling, okay? So again, if I just hold silently these two notes and then play the right hand part and listen how this area will resonate. Okay, and then the next one is notes C and D. So again, I hold them silently and then I play the right hand. Okay, so this is already a pedaling written in the finger pedal. Of course, we use, on the contemporary piano, we use the damper pedal as well to help this. And we can help, and it will sound very beautifully. So many pianists use the damper pedal, and this is okay. There is beautiful harmonies here, there are beautiful harmonies here, and this is totally fine. Sounds okay, right? But I would like you just to be aware that Bach wrote down this finger pedaling. Now, what he didn't write down, and we could do that, so besides the left hand pedaling, we also can create, we can overhold some of the notes in the right hand part to create more sonorities. So, for instance, I would like to overhold the highest note, which is E right here. So, and then it's going to be F, F, E, E, and later A, and so on. So listen, I'm not using the damper pedal for now. I hope you like this sound. Yes. Now I'm going to change slightly and to hold my thumb note, which is G, G, then A, G, G, and listen how this would sound. So this is without damper pedal. And of course, then I would put and show you the damper pedal. And this time I probably will do the upper note, will sustain a little bit the upper note. So let's see how it sounds. It's so beautiful, so I don't want to stop. I hope you like this effect. Okay, now my next example is next prelude, which is C minor prelude. This one, I'm sure that you know this as well. So I have a tutorial on this prelude, how to play it, how to practice it technically and musically, how to build phrases, how to build dynamics throughout the prelude. So if you're interested, the link will be below this video to my tutorial about this prelude. So in this prelude, Bach did not write the pedaling, the finger pedaling, but if we decide to a little overhold the bass note, the first note of each 8 notes in a bar, and the upper note in each 8 notes. So that's how it sounds. So this is just a possibility. You can manage and you can overhold these notes, make it shorter or longer. It's totally up to you. It's up to your taste, and also it's up to the acoustic where you would perform this prelude. If the acoustic is dry enough, you definitely can hold it longer. If it's probably not very dry, I would probably hold it less. But it still gives that, still gives that sonority, and you can recognize the upper note and the bass supporting note. Now, I also would like to say a word about the cadences. In Baroque music and in classical music, cadences are very important. And in Bach's music, often, if he writes a piece in a minor mood, he then finishes it in a major mood. So this is definitely written in C minor, and he finishes the piece. Listen. In C major. And in his cadences, he usually writes down the notes with the stems up or stems down to kind of hold these notes. In this prelude, he didn't write that. But I will show you later examples where he did write in cadences. He did write to hold on the some notes so that it creates a beautiful sonority like black chord. There he didn't, but let's see. I will overhold some of the notes and see if you like how it sounds. So just you would imagine that this is that a musician, a pianist played it with a damper pedal. Yeah, so I sustained just the last C, G, and E natural. And it's already so beautiful, right? It's like you played it with the damper pedal. Okay, my next example from the same book, from first book, is a Prelude in E minor. That's how it starts. A very beautiful prelude. So he didn't write the pedal in the left-hand part. So he just wrote the 16th notes, but I would sustain on the first note, just overhold it, maybe 8th by 8th note or a little more. So it kind of gives you like the feeling that I use the damper pedal, but I'm not using it right now. So listen. Right? And now I will play it without sustaining. Well, definitely that first bass note, the main bass note, which supports and rhythmically and harmonically, and also by overholding a little bit, the overtones creates that more beautiful sonority. So I like to use that, though it's not written in by Bach. So my another example is Prelude in G minor, and Bach wrote in the finger pedaling here in the left hand part. So that how it starts. So here is that left hand part, the pedal, the finger pedal. So the bottom note, he separated it with the stems down. So we should hold it by 8th note, by 8th beat. That's what he wrote. Okay, so this is written by him. All right, now my next example would be in the book 2 of his well-tempered clavier. So this is, let me see. Okay, this is Prelude in D minor, and that's how it starts. And I would like to show you one place in the middle of the first page where it's not written down by Bach, but I think we may create that that special pedaling sonority by just overholding the left hand bass note. So here is the place. So I played it without overholding. Now I would like to play it overholding that first bass note. I hope you heard it. So this is up to you. You don't have to do that, but in my opinion, it creates that special contrast from the beginning. So I would do it if I would perform this prelude. Now, another example is Prelude in A minor, which is not written with a finger pedaling. That's how it starts. by overholding some of the notes, we can create more polyphony here. And basically, sonority would be more beautiful. So what I mean, I would, there is a pattern in the right-hand part at the beginning. Then it repeats in the left-hand part. So what I can do, I can overhold a little bit the highest note, which is F in this example, F. Then in the next beat, E, D. And then in the left hand, it would be F, E, D as well. Now I'm going to play it by both hands, so listen. There was one option. The other option is to hold starting from the second beat, starting the lowest note, which is this one, B, A, G sharp, B, A, G sharp. Actually, G sharp is, he overholds the G sharp in the music. So now listen that second note, that B, the lowest note I will be overholding, how it would sound. Depends which one you like. You may overhold the upper note or the lower note, or don't overhold at all. It's totally up to you. And my last example in this book, in the second book of Well-Tempered Clavier, is Prelude in C major. So again, right here he has that organ point, he has the bass, octave bass in C, and then he does the right hand part. So definitely the bass octave is enriched here. Sounds enriched. Now, later, he actually wrote down the polyphony by some notes having stems up and some notes having stems down. So all together, if you follow and overhold these notes as he wrote that, it sounds really beautiful. It sounds like you're using the damper pedal, but it's still clear. This is absolutely beautiful. The prelude is gorgeous. In measure 3, for instance, listen. Well, I hope you heard some of the notes which were overhauled. And the first line, actually, he doesn't overhold. So it's written. In my opinion, I would a little bit overhold some of the notes, maybe upper note, so it sounds even more beautiful. So listen how I would do that. So sometimes I overhold the lowest note with my thumb, sometimes the higher note. I think it sounds more enriched. So again, this is totally up to you. If you would like to overhold some of the notes to create more beautiful sonority. But again, it has to be tasteful and also think about the acoustics and the piano you will be performing on. All right, moving on. So another example of that polyphonic writing where Bach writes down many voices and emphasizes the upper voice with stems down and the middle voice with, the upper voice with stem up, the middle voice with stem down, and then the left hand voices. So right here I have Allemande from Suite 2, from French Suite 2. So that's how it starts. And so on. So I wasn't using the damper pedal, but you definitely can use somewhere just a little bit to make it like a little bit more projective, more resonating, like maybe at the very beginning, and then lift off. So he already writes the finger pedal in here. So it all creates a beautiful, beautiful sonority, like you're using the damper pedal with clarity of the sound. Now the cadence, again, listen how he creates the cadence. Again, this is not done with the damper pedal. It's all your finger pedaling. Or the other cadence. All right. I hope that was helpful. Now I'm moving to the classical repertoire. So here I have a book of Clementi's sonatinas, and this sonatina is opus 36, number 4, in F major. So the very beginning, just listen. The composer himself puts that repetitive note FF, which creates octave here in the bass. So I think this is written in finger pedaling. Actually, you can overhold a little bit the bass note, your pinky, so it will sound like this. But that's already written in. There are more examples written in. This is another example. This one is in the Rondo, the last movement of Sonatina, opus 36, number 6. Again, here he writes in that finger pedaling in the left-hand part. So that's how it sounds. It with the stem down, so he separates it. It's a special note. He wanted to sound prolonged, to create more sonority, a loudness. So here is that example. Next example I have in Minuetto of the Sonatina opus 37, number 2. The very beginning. Again, I did not use the pedal, and it sounds already very beautiful without the damper pedaling. Now, these repetitive notes, and then A notes, A and D, it's already creating that kind of damper pedal sound. Right? So this is, I think, written in finger pedaling. And then another example I have, again, it's written in. This is Sonatina Opus 37 number 3, and this is the second movement of this sonatina. So the left hand has written in finger pedal. Here we have it. The bass note again has the special stem down, so we're supposed to hold it. Okay, so this is from Clementi. Moving on to Mozart sonatas. So I have here sonata in B flat major, K570. So that's how it starts. And the second theme has written in finger pedaling in the left hand part in Alberti bass. So listen. And so on. So here we have that bass, which is written with a separate stem down, and it's a half dotted note. And so on. So this is written in. But again, there are a lot of examples in Mozart which are not written in, like this sonata in F major, K332. I'll just play the beginning. It's simple Alberti bass in the left-hand part accompaniment. It's not written in with a separate stem. So that's what is written in. And I would like to sustain that bass note. And then that's how it would sound, hands together. I think it's very beautiful and still clear. Don't you think? Again, you can sustain it for a quarter beat, or you can sustain it a little longer or even longer. It all depends on the acoustic, the piano. Is it like big piano, concert piano, or is it baby grand piano? And also your taste and how you like this to sound. All right, so that was Mozart. Now Beethoven, couple of examples from Beethoven. So this is Sonata in F major, Opus 10, number 2. That is the beginning of Sonata. And the example I would like to show you with the written in by composer finger pedaling is starts in measure 30. So here it is. It's written in the left-hand part, Alberti bass. So the bass note has a separate quarter stem down. Now, moving on. I would like to, there is a lot of examples in Beethoven, but I would like to show you a little bit the famous sonata, Moonlight Sonata, which is opus 27, number 2. So as you all know how it sounds, well, the beginning, we have the bass octave, again, alone, and the other notes are in the right hand part. They are repetitive notes. And so on. So again, Beethoven, of course, knew how piano is constructed and how strings would resonate. So he wrote that long notes, long bass octaves throughout the sonata, which definitely would help to ring more strings and create that more deep sonority. We all know that this is tragic music written in C sharp minor. He also put down that he would like a performer to use the damper pedal. But even if we're not talking about the damper pedal now, we're talking about the finger pedaling now. Even just doing the finger pedaling, you are already creating some beautiful sonority by just holding this note and playing the right hand part. I mean, he created it on a page for us, then to replay and to recreate. The other example is on the second page, when he has the broken arpeggiated chords in measure 32 and on. Again, if I just play silently my bass note and then play the right hand, you already hear that some strings resonate in this register. And then he has the very long sustained octave G sharp in measures 35, 36, and 37. Okay, so just think about that. Think about how genius he was, just by putting all of that so that all the strings would resonate, more strings would resonate. And from this same sonata, but from the third movement, there is an example of written in finger pedal. It's in measure 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that's how it sounds. So here is that written down note G sharp in the left hand part. Okay, so it all will contribute to the sonority, to the loudness, and of course to the richer sonority. So this is Beethoven's sonatas example. And then I would like to show you also example from a romantic music. This is Frédéric Chopin's Ballade in G minor, opus 23. Just in the very beginning, in the main theme, he already wrote the finger pedaling. So that's what we have. I'm not playing the damper pedal for you, just to show you. This is his written in finger pedaling. And as we continue, here it again, right? Of course, we use damper pedal. Of course, we cannot play romantic repertoire without damper pedal. He already used the damper pedal. He knew pianoforte, and it already had pedal mechanism. So definitely he used pedaling, but he wrote it down. And one more example from the same piece is on the next page, measures 36 and on measure 36 to 44. So in measures 35 through 39, he writes actually two different finger pedals. So one is in left hand, just by holding the third here. It's a pattern. I know again we are using the damper pedal, but it all contributes to the sonority. And the right hand part has written in the last note, he sustains it, he prolongs it. Now that's how it would sound without playing the damper pedal. So we have the chord, right? Chord here. Later in measures 40, he uses the same, in the left hand part, the same principle. But in the right hand part, he prolongs the very first note, which is octave, which also creates a melody here, but at the same time contributes to the beautiful sonority. So I'm going to play it without damper pedal, slowly without damper pedal. Again, we can hear a chord. Now I'll play it with a damper pedal and faster. And now I'm going to play you measure 36 to compare, because this is the same music, but he sustained the very last note of it. So just listen to compare. Okay, I hope that you heard the difference. These are all examples I have for you today. I hope that it can help you. All these examples can help you to think how you can find the finger pedal in the music, and classical music and Baroque music, and how it can enrich your polyphony as well, and just enrich the sonority, enrich your sound on piano, and also help you to use less the damper pedal and more finger pedaling, so that you have transparency, you have clarity in your playing with a beautiful sonority at the same time. I hope that was helpful, and let me know any questions you may have in the comments below. I will see you in my next video. Please subscribe and like the video if you like it. Have a wonderful practice time.